Go.
Right.
Valerie,
How
you
I
can
see
go.
it from my point, how I see it from my point of view, when Hein and I were still both involved in the federal committee of the Freedom Front Plus. Um, I can remember days that we sat in the meetings, and he was upset because he was talking to them about self-determination and secession, and they would
How
not
long ago
listen to
was
him.
this?
And I'm talking about 2009, 2010,
Okay.
and I remember when he was so upset and he walked out of meetings. And then I won't forget, when was the last time that I was on the boards, and he was out already. 20, the last national, not the last lesson, the last, golly, 8 years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but don't worry. Okay, right, 2010, 11, whenever, 2010, 11. Those then
Okay.
when I was when that was the last time when I had my face on the boards. 14, I can't remember. Okay, right. To cut a long story short, before he comes, yeah, I remember his determination, and I remember when uh, 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 Doctor, what's his name? The guy that's in charge now. He hit his fist on the table. I don't even want to remember their names. And then Dr. Corney also. They just got up and they walked out, and I walked out, and I thought, good grief, how can you do this? And then when I spoke to him afterwards, and I realized actually what he was really with, I resigned and I said, I'm sorry, I'm out. There's no ways that I can come back, and I'm sorry. I'll stand because my boards have been printed. I'll stand for the voting polls, but that will be the last. Hang my boards up and enjoy it. But I didn't actually really partake. I wasn't going to be a councillor even if I came in. And I actually did come in, but then I handed the seat over to somebody else, because to me, secession and the dream he was teaching us was just the way I wanted it. And I've never turned back. I've been there all the time. And I will never turn my back on. We were Afrikaner Society when we started, and I'm not going to repeat the history now, why the name change was there. And yeah, then when we became a United Liberty Alliance, uh, Enigte Vryheidsalliansie, I agreed with him. I agreed with him all the way, and I will stick with him until we move into our new country, because that's what it's going to be. And I'm not playing the man; I'm playing the ball, because I don't believe in the man. I believe in what the man is doing.
Fantastic. So it does sound to me like these the arguments, shall I say, the conflicts maybe were there almost right from the word go, when Hein was looking seeing through the
Yes,
agendas of people sitting around playing politics,
yes,
and
yes,
he doesn't take that lightly, eh? Yeah,
definitely. And I'm so happy that he stick to what he said, and he said he will bring the accord, and he will show the people that. Now everybody says, oh, the accord was pitched up. Hein searched it, and Hein got it. Hein picked it up, and he got it on back onto the table. And everybody says, oh, the accord, the accord, the accord. They don't see where this accord actually was picked up. Hein Marx picked it up. He found it. He traced it back to where it was in Germany. And that is why we've got it today, because of Hein Marx. Not because of anybody else, because of Hein Marx. That's why we've got it. And once again, I don't want to give the man any honor, because he doesn't like receiving honor. He just wants this, the ball to roll and us to be free. That's all that he wants. And he
that's
really
right.
actually deserves all our backing. And I won't forget the time that we had the problem with Des Palm and them. When I told him, what's going on, he told me the truth. And I could search the truth, and I could see that what he was saying was the truth. And that is why I turned my back on what was offered to me by Cape Exit, and I went back to Hein and said, Hein, here I am. And I've been there from day one, and I am not sorry that I was there from day one. And I will stick until we fly our flag high, and even longer. And I'm going to live for another 40 years. So Sorry to those that don't believe in it, but I'm going to enjoy the new Cape Town.
Of course, I think we all are. I actually find it quite humorous that movements like Cape Exit, and there are others that were initially, acted all surprised that about the accord and didn't know where it was, and kept looking in the wrong drawers, knowing actually that it was somewhere else. Now
Yes.
they are calling it, as if it's theirs, and talking about it. It's a
No,
foundational part of their secession movement, and it forms a cornerstone. It's like quite funny.
no ways, no ways. When Hein met was Constant Viljoen in 2014, I think it was. I mean, Constant told him exactly where to go and collect it. And that's what he did. He went to go pick it up exactly where he was told where it is. That's exactly what he did. I mean, and nobody else picked it up. Hein Marx collected it and brought it back to South Africa.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Guys, we're still waiting on Hein. He runs a couple of businesses. One of them is a facility for aged people, or what do you call them, Valerie? People that are not capable of looking
Dementia.
after
He's
themselves,
got a
basically.
dementia center. Yeah, he's got a
A what?
dementia center, a
Dementia. That's it. Yeah.
dementia center, and he's very,
Correct.
very, very pro his
Yeah.
patients, pro his people. And another thing about Hein, and this is probably something I'm not supposed to say here, but he's got a heart of gold. We hit a rock bottom stage in our life in 2015, 16, and he brought us to his place, and he trained me, and he and I mean, my husband and I lived with him, and he really and truly got us to back on our feet. And anybody that shows a finger to Hein Marx will have to do with me. I'm sorry, I've got his back.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. I mean, I've just known him from since I joined the ULA, and really became very serious. And I decided to champion it and become a spokesperson. I met him once, and yeah, he's the kind of guy. He does not suffer fools lightly, but his heart is with the people, and yeah.
He's
So
got a
so
heart
he's
of gold.
got other businesses as well. He's a commercial pilot. He's got lots of business interests. So it's not
Yes.
too surprising when he unfortunately misses an opportunity to be with us. It's quite understandable. We can always hold it over, and it does open us to the opportunity of talking about him behind his back,
Yeah,
and
gossiping behind his back
and
is nice.
and yeah, and just general questions and answers. I see Peter has joined us as well. So if you're looking for any technical understanding and know-how of our process, we've got the experts on board here. Vernon, you had your hand up a little earlier. I've added you to the stream. You can unmute and say your bits if you like.
I just wanted
Good
to ask
evening.
Valerie, where is the dementia center next to the Houses of Parliament? That's where it should
Funny
be.
man.
They should
Yeah,
be inside the
true.
House of Parliament.
I
No,
couldn't resist that one. You can
It is
carry
the
on.
Houses of Parliament.
Okay, you can
Oh
carry
dear.
on.
Hein-
I had to get my little piece in there.
Yeah, no,
Heinz
good one, good
Dementia
one.
Center is in Hartenbos.
Okay, well, yeah, you should move it to the House of Parliament after it's been
Yeah,
rebuilt.
just rename it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
All right.
good evening. I've unmuted you, or I've added you to the stream. You can just unmute yourself again.
Good evening. Yes, thank you.
Hi, good evening.
I'm new to this secession thing. I've been reading your
Welcome.
documents now, and I've been hearing from many people how absolutely awesome this wonderful idea is to chop the Cape and the Northern Cape off from the rest of South Africa so we can get service delivery down here, which makes perfectly sense in theory on paper. The thing that's concerning me is the practical implications. And I need to understand who would be eligible to stay in this new what will we call this, a colony or this new province that we're going to have. Because from what I understood is it would be the Khoi and the San people, which makes perfectly sense. They were here. It would be the Inkommers, the people that came from Europe, us and the rest of our descendants. And who else? What am I missing?
Um, well, that's off the top of my head. I'll have to open the webpage and have a look to. But as I said, our technical expert Peter De Beer is with us this evening. Peter, I think that's pretty much Elizabeth is pretty much got it, hey? Those are the people that will qualify automatically for citizenship of the United Cape States.
Good evening, Brett. Good evening,
Hi,
everybody.
welcome.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for the question. Very valid question. You will find the information on the website, but I'm just going to give you a wrap up. Yes, you are correct. In your summary of the people that would qualify for citizenship, automatically qualify for citizenship, and that is based not on just rules that were made up. It's all based. Everything we do is based on the legal basis on which we actually have started out with this process of secession. And that means
Right.
that you have to have proof. And that proof was in the 2011, which happened to be a language census. That was
Yeah,
the government census.
I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that. I understand
So that
that.
would, yes, so that would also include the people that, irrespective of their race, that was a permanent resident, legal resident of the region before the 10th of May 1994, when the ANC took power. So it
Okay, now,
doesn't matter what the race they were from, as long as they were permanent residents. Now, these people
okay.
are blacks.
How are we going to prove that? How are we going to prove that? Because this is where the fight is going to come. This is the bloodbath that I am not looking forward to. I grew up in the 1970s and 1980s. I knew what it
Yeah,
was like living in civil unrest. And that's what I want to understand. We live in the Cape. We have people employed working for us whom has bought properties who are not of the Khoisan and of our um, culture groups, who were not in the Cape in 1994.
yes.
Um,
So exactly, that's where,
I want to
uh,
understand what
yeah,
are we planning on doing? How
well,
are we going? What's going to
obviously,
happen to them? Where are they going to go? How are we going to transition them into a new life? Are we going to do dispossession again like we did in the Cape?
All right, Elizabeth, sorry, just
uh,
hold on a
let's,
second, Elizabeth. Just let's give
just,
Peter a chance to answer.
yeah. So I know your concern, Elizabeth, is what do we do with the illegal people in that area?
No, I'm not
Because
talking about illegal people. All the people that work for us are legal people here.
no, hang on. Let
They've
me just
acquired
finish.
properties.
Let,
They've
let, let me
paid
just let
physical
me
access.
just finish. Let me just finish, please, Elizabeth. What I'm saying when I say legal, I mean all people that, as I mentioned, irrespective of what their races are, that is apart from the indigenous people, the Khoisan, and also the European people, other races that were there before 10th of May 1994 are deemed legal citizens. After that, if they resided, moved into the Cape, were bussed in, whatever the case may be, as per international law, they will be illegal citizens. It's as simple as that. And I know there are practical issues around it because what do you do with those people? Well, they have to move within the borders of their own country, wherever that may be. But the ones that were there prior to 1994, they are welcome as citizens because that is, you can't. The international laws say you can't just move people from where they are legally staying. That is international law. But if they are illegal on the other side, you have the full right to let them relocate to the country where they actually belong, where they are citizens. So that
Peter?
is the bottom line of the whole
Right.
situation.
I think we must also just add there that it is not that, I mean, it's going to take, you know, once the country is declared as sovereign, that is from that minute on, those rules apply. However, it does not mean that the very next day, you know, buses and trucks will come and load everybody that's not a qualified, automatically qualified citizen on a truck and take them to the border. It will be a process, and people who are gainfully employed and contributing to society will be given the opportunity over time to apply for work permits, citizenship, and that type of thing. And if the authorities at that point, the immigration authorities, feel that they are, you know, contributing on a valuable on a valued basis, they most likely will be able to stay on. So it's not a matter, Elizabeth, of them just you know, being turfed out of the country the very next day.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to bulldoze them, you know, across the border. It's not that. It's a process. It's got to be followed, and the practicalities around that, obviously, that will have to be, you know, sorted out once we get to that point. And some of these people will qualify actually, yes, to stay in the country. There will be rules and regulations concerning immigration and visas and everything, like similar to what's applicable in other
Lost
first
you?
world countries. Have you got? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you're back now.
Yeah, I say the same immigration policies and other policies relating to citizenship will apply, you know, as in any first world country. So you will have opportunities where these people can apply for residency and eventually for citizenship, permanent, to become permanent residents. I hope that answers
Elizabeth,
your
I hope
question.
that answers. Yeah, there we go. You can unmute yourself. Yeah, there we go.
Is any of this written down anywhere? For the past 27 years, the current government has been giving RDP houses. People have taken transfer of their houses. Now they have to find out after we've done secession that they are no longer legally here. They need to be moved. If you have a property which you have obtained, what I'm against is upsetting people for the second time in their lifetimes. First, they had to move the boerkaap. Now they have property after 27 years. Now again, we have to move people. This is wrong on all levels. We can never have God's blessing if this is how we're going to function. Telling me that you'll be able to apply for citizenship and it's nowhere written down. I'm sorry, guys, you're not going to have my support to do this. Because if we're wrongfully doing this, we will have another bloodbath. And this is why I want to know whose leadership, who's taking charge, what is the situation? We cannot promote this if there is not strong guidelines or
There's,
rules on how this will.
Elizabeth, let me interrupt you. Please, I would say visit the website. That's your first stop.
I've
Because
I've
it's
been there.
not something,
Been there.
yeah,
I've read the things. My questions aren't answered.
yeah, you haven't read the platform document, obviously. So read the platform document and any other questions around citizenship, the details of that we can answer for you. But the framework is there and it's all based on international law. I mean, we're not sucking these things up out of the thumb. It's an 8-year process that's been coming along with the legal team looking at international law in depth to get to where we are. This is not something that was done over a weekend, right?
Peter,
It was
I'm
a
not saying that. I'm
definite
saying
process.
practically you guys are not concerned the rights that people have acquired over the past 27 years. If you have acquired a house, the first one in generations, which is transferred to your name, you are living here and you are working here. Now to be told
The only
we
no,
will
the only right, the right that you will have, Elizabeth, the right that you will have is the same as for any international country, other country. If you are an illegal citizen in a country, you will be removed. While you're
How
there
can
and
you be
working, you can
a
have
citizen if you've worked here after we've had a 1994 democratic election, after a handover was done? How can you be illegal? You want to come and change something now? There has to be some grayer law where we can accommodate more people. Otherwise, the Western Cape and the Northern Cape will have a bloodbath. People will be murdered in their houses, and we will not be able to blame them for that. How are we going to be able to defend ourselves? We don't have guns, we don't have an army, we don't have a police. This
all
is not a
all the preparations were done, Elizabeth. As I'm telling you now, everything is looked at very carefully by specialists in their fields, whether it is
Peter, you're
economics,
not
whether it
pacifying me. I'm 50 years old. We've lived through hell and destruction. I lost family and
so
brothers and uncles in a war. We're not doing this again unless leadership takes responsibility and leadership are fair.
what
And that's
what
why you will
leadership
not get support from the middle line people. The open minded white South Africans in the Cape will not support this if we don't feel confidence in how the system will work.
we already have support. What are you talking
You only
about,
have
Elizabeth? The
90,000 people, you need 2 million. And if I
no,
start tomorrow
Elizabeth,
convince everybody they
no,
mustn't support you, nobody will support you.
I'm
I don't
sorry,
want
but
to
we
do
have
that.
the support and we have the growing support of this movement and the organization because it's a legal process. It's a
It's a
legal
legal
claim.
process, but it
It's
still needs
in
fine tuning on things.
I'm sorry.
Because
I'm
we
sorry. You're
walk in
thinking about the practical problems on the ground, and that is catered for. That is sorted. Will be sorted out. It's
no,
not
no,
a
no, no,
case
no.
that
Something
we are
will
not
be
naive.
sorted. It's not a
We are not
guarantee.
naive. It will be. There's always conflict in any secession, in any independence that happened ever in
And
the history
there will be
of
conflict
humanity.
living here. My family has been in the Cape 370 years. We've lived
So is
through
many other people.
exactly, but causing more strife, causing more blood loss, etc., because we can't figure out a way of how to live peacefully. It's not worth it.
There's not going to be peace in this country under the current dispensation. That is
I'm
why we were looking at solutions and looking at a permanent solution in specific for the minority people that have been subjected to 114 race-based laws, that's been
I,
subjected to BBE, that are murdered every day in their farms. And now
I'm
you want
I-
to tell me that there's no solution. This is the only
I'm telling
solution
you
that we
it should
can.
be a solution, but the solution I'm reading on your paper isn't calming me to see that it's going to be a peaceful solution. I'm
It's not
saying,
going, it might not be a peaceful solution, but it's the only solution.
no, it's
Don't
not the only.
expect, we are not naive thinking that it's all going to be hunky dory and we're shaking hands and
Have
there you go, you have
Have
your
you done
country.
title deed searches in the Western Cape to see how many of the undesirable people, the so-called undesirables, own property in the Western Cape now and in the Northern
Yes,
Cape? Have you done those title deed searches?
yes, we have. And they have the choice. As in any country, you have the choice to keep your property. You will not be dispossessed of a property. You can't be. It's international law. You can have property
Okay.
in Germany. Even if you're South African, you can have property in Germany. If you want to sell it, you sell it. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. But you
But you,
yourself, are you going to be illegal or illegal in that country? It's a new independent sovereign country. And the rules will apply as is applied international with problems. Yes, obviously there will be problems, but I think going through that is much better than sitting here for another 27 years and eventually our population of minority people, the Afrikaners, the Khoisan, the Bushmen, the Griqua will basically be wiped off the face of the earth. And that is what we're trying to prevent. We have a culture, a lot of cultures in this country, and we will fight for them. We will make sure that they can survive.
so
That
you're
is what,
telling me we're going to have another bloodbath before we're going to have
we
the
don't know.
garden?
We don't
No,
know.
we know. If you want to
No,
remove people forcefully, you're going to have a bloodbath. That is a given.
we're
It's
gonna
never
not
worked.
So
remove them. It's a
what is
process.
your suggestion then, Elizabeth, that we just carry on the way we are now?
No, no, I'm not saying carry on. Please, I'm a futurist person. I'm saying get a more fair dispensation.
It is fair,
But
and that
No,
is what.
no, you
Elizabeth,
what?
don't say no, no, no. The
Not
process
fair
we're
on
following is, sorry, Elizabeth, the process we're following is a legal process, and I don't care what you say about the effects. We expect that. That will happen. But we can't
what
twist our process and then sit with the process that we can't prove legally in the international community that we have indeed followed a route where we base it on specifics, because this is like a court case, like a legal case. And if you present it in the international community, you better have done your homework, stating how did you arrive, identifying first of all the people, because international law starts with identifying your people. Secondly, after that, you define the area. And those are the two crucial steps where we started out.
you've
So
done
if
that,
we
but your
follow that,
area unfortunately has
we
many other
don't
people who's had rights for 27 years.
just think about what I just told you, Elizabeth, and that's where I'm going to end off this argument. We've started with an international guideline, the law saying who are the people that you identify. Where are these people in a majority? And that is how the area was defined. And that is the law that we apply in our process. Now, unfortunately, in every area in the country, there will be people that does not belong there historically. And those are the people that are there illegal. End of story.
Peter, can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
I understand what Elizabeth's saying, but any country you go to, if I go to America on a visa and I've got enough money, or somebody gives me a house there and puts it in my name, it becomes my house. But it doesn't make me an American citizen. It makes me a foreigner with a visa. So those people who have got houses under the present government over the last 24 years, whatever, it will be their property and they can stay there so long as they have a valid visa. That's the bottom line. So ideally, they would leave of their own will. I don't think they're going to, because there's no work in the Transkei. So they're going to stay there. But they will not be citizens and they will have no vote. That's actually the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, the immigration laws allows, just as for any country, anybody that can and want to become part of the new country, pending the prerequisites, same as world-class countries, first world countries, same immigration laws. Anybody can apply for citizenship, but they're going to have to prove that they can associate with the main culture of that area.
And have work.
Yes, and be a contributing member of society. Then they
So the
can
bottom
apply.
line is you're not gonna throw them out, or physically eject them and have them sent back to Adutra or Ngobo or whatever. They can be there if they've got a job and if they own the premises that they're on. The ownership thing is an important factor.
so we
That's
must not
that's
forget what, yeah, absolutely. But we must not forget what brought us to this point. The fact that the minorities have stood up and followed a legal process to protect themselves from extermination is not our doing. If the ANC government had played the ball as you would like us to play it now with everybody there, if that had been from the start, they'd been looked after the infrastructure, looked after their people, done what a decent first world government would do, which is what they inherited, we wouldn't be in this place. Nobody would be running after secession. This has been forced upon.
two wrongs don't make a right.
Nobody wants to pick up
Even
arms, and that is why.
Yeah. Can we give somebody else a chance?
Yeah, let's. Thanks very much. Okay, Rochelle, you've had your hand up for quite some time now. Please unmute yourself, and you can contribute to the discussion. Go ahead, Rochelle. You're going to have to unmute yourself. There we go.
Good
Good evening. Welcome.
good evening, Peter. Good evening, everybody. No, I just wanted to say to Elizabeth, if like what you have already said, I don't know if she's been, overwhelmed with the information, and then now just thinking that everybody must leave because of the because of the what ethnic, what do you call it?
The
um,
ethnicity.
but
Mhm.
yes, um, but if they are there, if they've been there before 1994, then there is no worry. Sorry, if they've been there for over 300 years, then there is no worry. That's all I wanted to say, because this argument has been going on for too long now. It's been going on for half an hour. And there's other things that needs to be discussed.
All right, go for it. Let's change the subject. Go for it, Rochelle. What else would you like to talk about?
No, I didn't want to talk about anything. I was just thinking that this there are other people on the call coming here to listen to Hein, but Hein is not here now. So if
All right.
somebody can maybe just um, take, how can I say, take us through the steps that has been followed for the past 8 years, or anything, just so that people can learn to understand why we are here.
Okay, that's it's a fair point. But just to say, Rochelle, that when somebody feels very strongly about something, like Elizabeth does, and we feel that it's just some information that is needed, then we do try and respond and set them at ease that it's not going to be, once we've seceded, everybody we call up forces and come in with a hard hammer and just discriminate against everybody that is not now a citizen of the country. It's not. That's not the kind of thing that we want. We do not want bloodshed or conflict. If it happens, it happens. But yeah, so we do just try to accommodate um, discussions like that.
See,
But
Brett,
yeah, there we
For
go.
everything,
the
thank
bottom
you
line
for
is a lot of these
everything.
people
Yeah.
were moved. A lot of these people that are illegally there were moved there by a political agenda and
All
to
right,
flood the area for the sake of a majority supporters of the ANC in this case. And that is the
correct,
intention that. So that is what we will definitely not allow. I mean, we are based
100%.
we based our process on the minority people being in a majority in that area, as per the 2011 snapshot. That was a legal basis for what when we started the process. So that is basically what it's about. The problem will not be with the people that's been there in 1994, because if you look at the figures, it's in a minority really. But the people that have moved there now, they're all illegals. That's where the problem is going to lie, and we'll have to face that, take that head on.
Yes, no, most definitely. And those will be the people that are largely unemployed and maybe have SASSA grants and so on, which obviously is not going to be part of our new dispensation. And it shouldn't be too difficult to ask them to pick up and go, as they are illegal. But when it comes to people who are gainfully employed, have been around for a very long time, maybe own a house and so on, they will most certainly be, treated with respect and not hard-handedly.
Yeah. You see, it will make no sense in duplicating a new South Africa in a minute form, just a smaller form, and then you create a new area with a copy of the current South Africa Rainbow Nation. That's also going to get to the same state as we find ourselves now in, and that is why we have to protect the people. And in an international law, thank goodness for that, up to now still provides for any group of people to claim their sovereignty, as long as they can prove that in that area that they claim that they are indeed in a majority, which is the case. All right, any other questions from my side? That's all from me now for now, Brett. Thanks.
Yeah, 100%. No problem at all. Guys, any other questions or remarks that you would like to contribute to our discussion this evening? It is a pity that Hein hasn't been here. It would have been great for him to be involved with the discussion, but no worries. He will certainly be back probably 2 weeks from now. Next week we are going to be chatting again with our Vice President, Alroy Baron, and he can give his input on these issues as well. So if there aren't any more questions, thank you very much for being here this evening. We're going to close it off now. Take care, and look forward to seeing you on Thursday evening when we'll be talking general Q&A as well. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good night. Bye, everybody.